Hey everyone, this amazing ESO Network show is brought to you by our fine sponsor, Amazon.com. Please remember to shop Amazon for all your geeky needs, no matter what time of the year it is. All you need to do is go to esopodcast.com/ESO Amazon, or click on the Amazon banner on the ESO Network webpage to go to our e-store. It's the best way to shop and the best way to support this program, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Okay, that's enough of me babbling for now. Now on with your regular scheduled show.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Podcasserole.
An Adam and JP show.
Hey, welcome to Podcasserole,
Gotta shake the dust off.
the post-summer break edition.
Shake it off, as my girl Taylor would say.
Is that your girl?
Yeah.
Are you a big Taylor Swift fan?
I'm a 2015 and after Taylor Swift fan.
What Taylor Swift fans call themselves? Swiftaholics?
Yeah, I like that. Swift or sweepers?
Yeah.
Swift jets?
The
Swift jets?
Swifters?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The Taters?
You like Taylor Swift, Tay Allen, or Tay's on Day better?
Tay's on Day.
Yeah. See your favorite?
Is that Chocolate Rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chocolate Rain. Wow. Taking it back to the early days of YouTube. I wonder
yeah.
what he's doing now.
He's still making videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he still sing Chocolate Rain?
The thing was, that came off as like a comedic hit.
Yeah.
But he was 1,000% serious. And so to this day, he still makes serious songs. And just whatever happens, happens.
Well, why didn't he just play into the comedic aspect?
Because they were laughing at him, not with him.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, because he was serious.
He was serious, yeah.
So people were laughing at him.
Yeah.
When you release a song called Chocolate Rain,
Uh-huh.
that should be the expectations of what's going to happen.
You think so?
Yeah.
It was a serious song, though.
By the way,
Serious happenings.
there's like 100 dogs in my house right now.
There are quite a few.
You're probably going to hear some barking.
I would think a lot of barking.
Just ignore it. Just try to ignore it.
Yeah.
Look past
Take it out.
it. So did you have a good break?
I did.
Did you have a good? Tell me about your vacation.
We're back.
Where all did you go?
So in a few days in Wisconsin. Went up north, the Great White North.
Well, you went to Canada?
No, not that far. Great
pretty
White.
close.
Pretty close, yeah. Good trip from Tennessee here. Went there, did some few nights of camping. I saw a Milwaukee Brewers game. Just had a lot of fun Wisconsin times.
Did you enjoy the Brew Crew?
I did, yeah. It's funny. I mean, I think now. I mean, I've always been a baseball fan, but I think I have an actual team to root for now.
The Brewers.
Yeah. I mean, especially, I have like a tie to it.
Right.
Never had any. I mean, I guess living here, the closest we've ever had is the Braves, still good 4 hours away. But now I have like a family tie to a team. And I went there. The atmosphere got me. It was awesome. I'm a Brew fan.
I do like that stadium.
Yeah, it's really nice. Miller Park it's amazing. It's funny right when you walk in. They have so many traditions and times. It's a fun things to do. But one of the old traditions they have is called the 50-50 raffle. So when you walk in and get your ticket, you have the chance to give $1 or $2 or $3, and everyone gives it for every game. And I believe the seventh inning during the stretch, I believe they call a seat number or a ticket number for the raffle. I didn't win it.
Oh.
Funny story though. So basically, it's called 50-50 because if you win that number, you get half of it, and it's around $18,000 to $20,000 each time, and the other half goes to charity. So it's a 50-50 raffle.
Right.
Oddly enough, the winner
Was right next to you?
no was Kato Kalin.
What?
I'm serious. Look it
Kato
up.
Kalin won the 50-50 raffle.
Yeah, at the Brewers game I was at. I promise. Check it out.
Did he donate it all to charity?
I doubt it. He needs money.
Yeah, that's true. He
But isn't
probably
that funny? I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I've never
What
done
do they
that
have?
because
Yeah.
they do that at the Braves game
Is it like
too.
a baseball thing in general they do?
I think so, and I've
Yeah.
never done the 50-50 raffle.
Yeah, I got 2 tickets, but I was not the winner, and Kato Kalin
Did you
was
get 2
once
tickets
again.
to Paradise?
Kato did.
Yeah.
He sure did. But I enjoyed it greatly. Good baseball game.
Oh, the mascot slides down the slide whenever they hit a home run.
Yeah, Bernie Brewer, he has his Bernie's dugout way up top of the actual stadium there, and they hit a home run. He slides on a big slide.
More of a McDonald's playland than a baseball park, but hey, that's okay. I like the Brewers Park more than the Marlins Park.
Is that one a rough one?
Yeah, there's
Is it newer? Is the Marlins thing newer?
6 or 7 years.
Yeah, okay.
I mean it's pretty new.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an aquarium behind home plate.
I mean, you gotta make a thing for the fans.
Well, yeah, but a good fastball deflected. Well, it's not right behind home plate, but it's near home plate on the first base line.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could shatter that.
Yeah, that's
in the
possible.
middle of a game.
You think it's breakable glass?
I'm sure. I mean, it's possible.
Everything's breakable.
And then they've got a weird monolith thing out in the outfield. because the Brewers Park have the slide.
Right, yeah.
That's a thing now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have something
Thing
in the outfield. The new Braves Park has like a waterfall type thing in the outfield. And they've got some weird modern art looking thing that has a wheel on it with fish.
Really?
And so that goes around whenever
all
they
those new
hit a
stadiums
home
are
run.
crazy. They're insane.
They all got a gimmick. So I'm sure Brewers Park, it's like a festival before the game out front.
Oh, we tailgated hard beforehand.
Yeah. But do they have stuff going on?
All kinds of stuff.
Hitting, batting cages.
Beanbag tosses set up, pitching, the speedometers on there. It was crazy.
Yeah, SunTrust Park has a zip line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They really did up the carnival aspect.
Really?
At SunTrust Park.
Yeah. But in general, in the whole Wisconsin area, tailgating is huge there. I've never, being from Tennessee, I go to my Titans games.
It is Wisconsin.
That's true. I drive and I park far away and I either take a shuttle in or I walk miles over a pedestrian bridge.
Right.
And I go to my game. But in Wisconsin, for the Green Bay Packers game and for the Brewers, you park right outside the stadium. It's insane, even for the Brewers, that big Miller Park, how much parking there is for people. And it was like $10 or $15, and you're right outside the gate. Like, you set up shop hours prior, you tailgate with all the buddies, and then you walk in, not even a football field length, to the actual game. What's the closest you've parked to a Tennessee Titans game? Pretty far away, right?
No.
Have you gotten close? Oh, radio stuff, gotten close? That's different. I'm talking about the civilians.
But I have parked at unless you are from Nashville, you have no reference point for this, but I have parked in front of the state capitol.
Really? Yeah.
And taken a shuttle over to the Titans game before.
Yeah. See, shuttles, long bridges. I think they should work on the. It's not like an old thing or new thing. Like that brand new stadium has so much parking outside, you can just walk right in.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of space for parking where they built the Titans Stadium.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Nissan Stadium, I guess it is.
Yeah. But tailgating in general is huge in Wisconsin. Huge, man.
Yeah.
Huge. It's a big deal.
How was camping? Where'd you go? Where was it you went camping?
It was in Wisconsin, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, about an hour outside of Milwaukee. It was awesome. It was great. The summer nights in Wisconsin are fantastic. If I could have like a summer home, that summer home would be in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, man, yeah. Oh, man, it's amazing.
Not Aruba?
No, too hot. Yeah. It's pretty hot there, right?
Yeah. Well, I think
and
it's the
Zika.
same thing. I think
Zika and it's too hot.
I don't think Aruba has Zika.
You don't think it has Zika?
I
think most beaches do.
No,
You
most beaches.
I'm serious. I looked into
have
this.
Zika.
I think most beaches have the Zika.
According to Surgeon General Adam, most beaches have Zika.
It's like a certain.
It's a mosquito-borne virus.
I know, but if it's a temperature below, it's like a tropical climate, it'll have Zika. Really, it's like yeah.
Are there a lot of mosquitoes on the beach in Aruba?
Yeah. Like Mexico, even Puerto Rico, these places are all Zika infested. It's crazy out there. It's crazy out there.
Yeah.
But I would live in Wisconsin in the summer if I could. Fantastic. The sun goes down late at night, 9:30 p.m. It's like mid-60s, high 60s, a nice breeze. It's for me the temperature I like, which I'm always sweaty. I'm burning up right now. It's 80 degrees outside.
Yeah. Well, the thermometer said 75.
Really?
In here.
Yeah, it's very hot to me. I'm all about the mid-60s. I like the mid-60s.
I was watching the CNN coverage of the protest at the G20 summit yesterday in Germany. And it was probably, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon our time.
Yeah.
And it looked about the same time of day in Germany. And it's like 9:30 at night.
Really?
And they're like, it won't get dark here until closer to 10:30, 10:45.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
You just get so used to your body is used to certain things. And my mind was confused. It even made me feel more awake. I was much more awake at 9:30 than I would have been usually if it had been late or dark for so long.
I'm a big believer in the Pacific time zone is the absolute best time zone for your body.
Yeah.
Because it just naturally, now I could be saying that coming from the Central time zone to the Pacific time zone, but it just feels like that the time in the Pacific time zone is more accommodating to what your body naturally wants to do.
I think so.
Like when you want to wake up at 6 a.m. or whatever, it just feels easier in the Pacific time zone than in the Central time zone.
Makes sense.
Where it's still basically in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I did pick up one good hobby in Wisconsin.
Oh, fidget spinners?
Not just that. No. I used to play golf all the time. Was in the golf team in high school. Love golf.
Here we go. Mini golf?
No. But and have had the itch for the past few weeks, maybe months, to go back and play golf.
To hit the links?
To hit the links. But I don't, it's so expensive. Like a cheap golf course is going to be $25 a pop. Cheap. So I found a thing in Wisconsin that everyone in Wisconsin plays, and it's disc golf. And I'm on the disc golf train now. I love it. It's fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
You can just go to the park and play it.
Yeah. Like there are 4 around our area here. Like they have to have the basket set up.
Disc golf leagues.
And they're free. It's free to play disc golf because it's always sanctioned.
So you're
by
just
the
trying to
state.
throw a frisbee in a basket.
But they're special frisbees.
Okay.
It's not that simple. You have driver discs, you have a mid-range disc, you have putter discs. And it's awesome. It's cool. I'm terrible, but I will get better, and it's fun. Fun and free.
Well, there you go.
Exercise, fun and free. It's a triple.
Yeah.
Triple win. Yeah,
Get your 1,000 steps in a day.
you should go with me.
Or 10,000 steps.
You should go with me.
Play disc golf?
Yeah.
Adam, I don't follow you on these adventures.
Why not?
I've yet to follow you down one of that.
But this isn't an amiibo thing. It's not a fidget spinner. This is a sport that's been around for 25, 30
That's
years.
true.
Yeah.
Disc golf has been around a long time.
Yeah,
I remember in college people playing disc golf.
And people have told me many times, friends of ours we know have asked me to go play, and I'm like, that's stupid. No.
Yeah. You know what I'd play with you? Racquetball. I love to play racquetball.
I used to play that weekly.
Yeah. I love racquetball.
I love racquetball.
I got pretty good at it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I plan to get good at this sport. We'll see. It's tougher than you think. Really tough. When you play with like almost pros and you're not a pro, it's
I'm not very good at throwing a frisbee anyways. So.
It'd be double bad.
Yeah.
Because it's not even it's not a visual podcast, so I can't show you, but it's not like throwing a normal frisbee. I thought it was, and I was totally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys can throw these frisbees the distance of a football field.
Yeah.
They really can. It's crazy to me. Like a good drive, they go by feet instead of yards.
Yeah.
So a good drive is like 325, 350 feet, which is over 100 yards.
That's true.
How crazy is that? Like a football field with a frisbee. That's pretty nuts.
That's pretty talent. That's talent.
I'll get there one day. Give me time. But I enjoy it for what it is. I've been to two parks this past week here in town.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Any other adventures in
That's
Wisconsin?
about it. Cato Kalin, Wisconsin. Got some good cheese, of course. Fantastic cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I did drive a fancy
the best
car.
cheese,
The best
probably.
cheese, to me, the best cheese in the world. They have these things called whips, which are like little whipped up mozzarella thing of pre-shredded string cheese. It's amazing. They have mozzarella ropes, like actual as thick as a snake, but it's just cheese. Don't you like cheese? I love cheese.
Well, I gave up cheese.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Are you still
Well,
on
I've
that?
had cheese this last week because
Okay, yeah.
I ate terrible
Right. Yeah.
while I was on vacation.
Yeah.
But generally speaking,
Yeah.
I gave up on cheese.
Last thing I did drive a fancy Nissan Murano. We borrowed my wife's boss's car to take the trip.
Some might say you drive a fancy Nissan now.
Some would say that, but all Nissans now have the cruise control is insane. I think not just Nissans, but I would imagine cars in general are going this route where they really pretty much drive themselves. So what I did, I was driving the whole 10-hour trip. Say you put cruise control on 80. A normal car, you still have to kind of babysit that, but I was just steering. You put the cruise control on 80, hit the interstate. If a car gets in front of you going 60, it'll slow down to a proper, a good 2-car distance between you. If he moves out of the way, it goes back up to 80. Even going downhill with cars in front of me, it was adjusting properly the speed. And I mean, you can stop at a stoplight, and as soon as it goes and people move, it goes with them.
So
was driving
was it
myself.
braking the car?
Yeah.
So it was actually the brakes were okay.
It was actually, It was
That's cool.
never did I get within like 2 car lengths between me and a car.
So it wasn't one of those things where it just laid off the gas.
No, it was actual braking.
It
Like
was
even like I
braking.
said, going down a hill.
Yeah.
I had the cruise control on 80, hitting 80 top of a hill. The hill happens, and I go the proper speed.
Oh wow.
So I think we're in a good way here.
Yeah.
Cars have a good future ahead
Well,
of them.
Tesla has the self-driving cars now. On the road.
And those are like self-driving. Like
Yeah.
you don't even touch the wheel, do you?
Mm-hmm.
That's scary to me. So for 10 hours, I was basically sitting in the chair just driving like Rad Racer.
Thanks, Stark Industries.
Yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. What about you? What kind of things happened for you?
Oh man. Well, I flew out
Yeah.
and met the family in Las Vegas. We went down the strip that night. I guess that was last Friday night. Hung out in Vegas that night. Got up, drove to L.A. the next day. Did some touristy things in L.A. Went to the Hollywood Boulevard, the Chinese Theater, the Kodak Theater. Saw some of the Hollywood stuff. And then that night drove to San Diego, which was gorgeous.
Nice.
Gorgeous weather in San Diego.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like that night, it was like 55.
That's awesome.
Like we came from, the day that we left Las Vegas, before we went to LA, we drove up to Boulder City, Nevada, and saw the Hoover Dam, which I've never seen before, which was just awe-inspiring. And it was 113 degrees.
Gross.
It's pretty warm.
Gross.
Yeah, but there's a spot where you can straddle Arizona and Nevada in
Ah.
the same spot. There's a picture of me like, hey, part of me's Arizona, part of me's in Nevada.
Hey, my sweaty taint is in both 2 states right now. Congratulations.
I got a funny story about that. And so we did that, and then we went to L.A. and did the Hollywood Boulevard stuff, and then drove to San Diego that night. So we went in the span of like 24 hours or just over 24 hours. We went from 113 degrees to 55 degrees
Wow.
at night.
That's
But what
crazy.
was really cool in San Diego is we visited one of the beaches there where the sea lions and the seals come in at night.
Nice.
So you can be right there on the beach within just a few feet of sea lions and seals.
That's pretty cool.
Which was really, really cool. And then the next day I flew out of San Diego.
You're
the
there
next
for
day.
1 day or 2 days? How long?
We were in San Diego a day.
But
Well,
you
a
were-
night.
you were
I was
over
in
there.
San Diego a night.
I got you.
Yeah, we got there that night, saw the seals, went to bed, and then the next day I took a flight out, which was the 4th of July.
So you had your first solo flight. What do you think of that?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I'm not a big talker. Weird thing to have a podcast. But the flight out there was completely full
Yeah.
from Nashville to Las Vegas. And so there were two people beside me. It was Southwest. So there were two people beside me. And, I was polite. I was like, hello, and then really didn't say anything until we and it was weird because as we land in Las Vegas, the lady's like, I can't believe you didn't get up one time. I'm like, oh, it's just a 4-hour flight.
That's not that far.
Yeah. I mean, I know the guy next to her could not wait to get up.
Really?
Like as soon as we sat down and put the seatbelt on, as soon as we got into the sky, the seatbelt light was still on, and there were some thunderstorms. So the seatbelt light was on for an hour and a half flying to Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Until we got out over the the Midwest or Oklahoma, that area. They left the seatbelt light on because there was a storm front coming through, and he'd already gotten up, and they told him to go back to his seat. I guess he had to go to the bathroom really bad. Is what it was. But he'd get up, go see if he could go to the bathroom. They tell him no, go back to your seat. He comes sit down. He'd sit there for a few minutes, and he was up. I think he'd had a few before.
So they were pretty hardcore on the seatbelt sign, huh?
Well, especially because there was some pretty bad turbulence. I experienced my first bad turbulence to the point where we're flying along and we hit turbulence and the plane drops.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Which is not fun. But I handled it fine. Yeah. And then on the way back, the flight wasn't full, but there was a guy on my row, and once again, we really didn't talk.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not a talker. Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
We were in Disney. Oh, we did the Disneyland thing when we were in Anaheim. We went to Disneyland, rode the Guardians of the Galaxy ride,
Nice.
which used to be the Tower of Terror. Pretty fantastic ride. I sent you some pictures of the queue.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Realistic, like movie quality stuff in there. Now, is that in Disney World as well, or just Disneyland?
No, just Disneyland.
Okay.
Because of the agreement that Marvel has with Universal in Florida, that's where they have all the Marvel characters. Is Universal's Island of Adventure all because like the Hulk is there, like the Hulk ride.
Yeah.
So when you go to Disney World, there's no Marvel representation in any of the Disney World parks.
Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
So when they decided to revamp Tower of Terror, they just did it in Anaheim. It's still kind of the same ride, but I would say because one of the reasons why I always like Tower of Terror is I think it captured the spirit of the Twilight Zone better than any ride based off a movie or anything like that could. Guardians of the Galaxy does that, if not better.
Really?
I've never gotten on a ride and people actually start to cheer when like music started because it was music from the Guardians soundtrack.
It put you in the moment?
Yeah, it puts you in the moment. Yeah. And it's all the Guardians. I mean, Rocket, there's an animatronic Rocket. Clearly Bradley Cooper voiced that.
Really?
In ride, you see the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's Zoe Saldana and Chris Pratt and Dave Bautista and a little baby Groot. I mean, it was shot while they were making the second one.
Really?
You can tell because they're wearing the wardrobe that they're wearing at the beginning of the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it's all different stuff, not from the movie. Its own.
No,
story.
it's its own. Well, it's called Guardians of the Galaxy Breakout. The plot is the Collector has captured the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the Collector is going to put them on display. And the whole thing is, you're going to be one of the first to see the display of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And when you're going through the queue, you see them. They're in their cages and stuff. And then Rocket breaks out, and he's going to free the rest of his friends. And that's what the ride is him freeing his friends.
Huh.
And then they go like on a little mini adventure during the ride.
Yeah.
But it changes. Just like Tower of Terror was never the same experience twice.
Yeah.
Like the music can be different and the scenes. I don't know how many scenes they shot, but the scenes that you watch can be different during the Guardians ride. And I mean, we got off of it and instantly wanted to ride it again. We rode it twice,
Really?
back to back.
And it was different every time.
Yeah, and the scenes were the music
Wow.
was different, the scenes were different. And there's even a Stan Lee cameo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you can make it out to Anaheim to Disneyland, I definitely recommend it to me. And I told my wife this yesterday. I enjoyed Guardians so much. It might be worth trying to find another way to make it back out to Disneyland sooner than later.
Really?
To ride it, yeah.
That much, huh?
It was that much.
Wow.
Plus, because they don't have the same Marvel agreement with Universal in California that they do in Florida, there's a lot in the Disney California Adventure Park. There's a lot of Marvel stuff.
Really?
There's Avengers stuff. There's like S.H.I.E.L.D. shows. And, I mean, Black Widow and Captain America and Hawkeye were roaming around in the park. Groot was there. Groot was standing outside the Guardians ride.
He was grown up now?
Yeah.
No longer baby?
Yeah, he wasn't no longer. But in the ride, he's Baby Groot.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun. Disneyland's always fun.
Yeah.
I like I will say, as far as Disney parks, California Adventure is probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, because they've got the California Screamer, which is their big outdoor roller coaster. And there's some fun stuff there.
Yeah, I like to go there. I've been to Disney World, just never land. Check it out.
So, yeah, we had to go. Oh, and so we get on Pirates of the Caribbean. It's always Pirates of the Caribbean, isn't it?
It's the Trouble Child.
It's always Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's the Trouble Child.
And the boat that we're on was not loaded properly.
I've heard that happen sometimes.
And so as I sit down, I realize that not just in our group, which was like a group of 8, but through the entire boat, most of the adults are sitting on the left side, and most of the children are sitting on the right side.
Don't they train these people anymore?
I think Josh was the only, our friend Josh from Collection Connection.
Yeah.
I think only Josh was the only adult really on the right side of the boat. So as soon as we go down the ramp and we hit the water, I realize we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because the boat is basically leaning to the left. Like to the point to where, and I'm on the left side, right next to the edge. Basically, the water level is at the edge of the boat.
Really?
So there's already kind of water coming over the edge. And I told my wife, I said, I'm going to get soaked on this ride. She's like, nobody gets that wet on Pirates. I said, I know. It's going to happen.
And you hate being wet on rides, don't you?
Uh-huh.
You hate that.
I hate it. Oh, yeah. It was pretty bad. And
Which I wonder how they do that now with cell phone. I haven't thought about that. I haven't done a water ride and cell phones are a thing.
Yeah. I'm about to tell you.
Ah.
So we're going along, and and it is a pretty easygoing ride.
Oh, yeah.
But our boat is just like it's a battleship going down, and it's just leaning on the left side the whole time. Everybody's kind of leaned to the left going down the stream, and we get to the first drop. And Pirates in Disneyland's longer than Pirates in Disney World.
Really?
It's a longer ride because it was the original. It's a big ride in Disneyland. There's a few more scenes, and it's a longer trip than at Disney World. And we get to so there's more than just one water drop. So we get to the first drop, and I'm like, yep, here we go. And so we slide down, and we hit the water, and it just pours over the side of the boat right on me. It's in my shoe.
Wow.
It's on my, it goes behind my back. I'm sitting in water by the time we get down that. And that's when I thought about my cell phone. I'm like, because I had it on my left side. So I pulled my cell phone out. So the rest of the ride, I have my cell phone in my hand tucked under my arm on my right side.
Wow.
And we hit a couple of more, little drops every time water would just pour in. I was soaked by the time we got off Pirates of the Caribbean. To the point to where we get off and we're standing out there, and I tell my wife, I told Steph, I was like, I'm going to have to go back to the room. Because our room was pretty close to the park. I was like, I'm going to go back to the room and change. She's like, why? For a little water on your pants? And I was like, it's not just on my butt. and it was hot. And I said, I'm going to chafe if I don't go change clothes. So I went and still smelled sour by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you change clothes or you did not?
I changed pants. Yeah. I changed out of I had shorts on, put pants on. But still, by the end of the night, me and my wife rode the last ride of the night at like midnight. We rode Space Mountain. That was it. Like everybody else had gone back to the room. It was just me and her. And we're standing there in line for Space Mountain. She goes, we stink. I said, yeah. She goes, something smells really sour. I said, I think it's my butt. From where I got wet on Pirates.
Yeah. The old sour tainted.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty bad.
Wow. It's like a fun time, though.
That was our adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. I need to go out west. I've been like west, but never stepped foot in California.
Hey, I would move to the West Coast in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never been to San Diego before and just fell in love with that city.
That's what I hear.
And I already liked Los Angeles and, Southern California.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, I would live in San Diego. It was nice.
Yeah.
All of that, any of that, Southern California, San Diego. I've never been San Francisco or Northern California, but if I love half the state already, I can imagine I would love the rest of it.
What was that city we used to talk about? Petaluma. Remember Petaluma?
Petaluma.
Petaluma Batman?
Yeah, it's funny. That came up.
Really?
Like,
That's funny.
Josh, he's like, where was that Batman? I was like, it's Petaluma. It's a little bit out of the way of where we're going to be.
Yeah. I just thought of
It's
Petaluma.
north.
Petaluma Batman.
It's north of Anaheim.
Yeah.
Northwest of Anaheim, I think. Yeah. But, I would definitely recommend a trip out west.
I want to.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
Check it
how much time we got?
Ooh.
We got enough time to we're going to do Dead or Alive.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
And then we're going to come back and talk about creepy video game legends.
Yeah.
Creepy video game stories and urban legends.
Well, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
But I saw Spider-Man Homecoming last night.
What are your thoughts? I've heard nothing but good things, and I will see it in less than 48 hours. No, less than 24 hours.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, please
so don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
First off, I'm going to go reverse here. What do you give it out of 10 at this moment?
9.
Nice. Okay. That's good.
9.4.
That's good. That's good score.
Granted, I'm less than 24 hours. I went to the 10 o'clock show last night.
Yeah.
So I'm just over 12 hours, 13 hours from seeing this movie. So, but I feel like it's the best Batman or best Spider-Man. It's the best Batman movie. I feel like it's the best Spider-Man movie.
It's not that as much as I love the old ones. That's not. It shouldn't be too hard to do.
And
you know what I mean? There's
purely from the sense of it's like high school. It's hardcore high school Peter Parker.
I want to ask you questions, but I don't want to spoil things for myself. But I'm curious.
Ask me questions, and if it spoils anything, I just won't answer it.
Well, the questions I want to know these answers, and if you are curious on the fence here about spoiling questions, just don't listen for 30 seconds. But I'm curious myself personally.
Okay.
Does it speak of? Do we have any origin story whatsoever? Because we've seen that at the SR Popcorn and Pearls in the Marvel Universe.
It's the best handled origin story I've ever seen in a comic book movie. Because you've already met him.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the way it's done is pretty humorous.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Last question. Does he...
That's only 2.
I know. That's all I want to stop with 2. Does he make the web cartridges himself, or is that a side effect of his disorder? The webs.
Is it spoiling anything if I tell you? In Sam Raimi's, it was
a part of the mutation.
Right.
Yeah, and Amazing Spider-Man, he made the web cartridges.
And he's made the web cartridges before in comics and the cartoons.
Yeah. As far as the actual comics, most of the time goes, he makes like the synthetic stuff himself.
Yeah. He's super smart in science.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
And
I like it either way. Like when I first heard about Sam Raimi's, that it was kind of a side effect of the mutation, and I was like, that's stupid. But as I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's pretty. I mean, it's good.
And remember, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Okay.
It's almost the Iron Spider suit.
Really? So, I'm very curious how much. So I don't have a problem with this movie, but I think if I do have a problem, it'll be with how nothing Peter Parker would be without Tony Stark. Is what I'm taking it so far. Okay, good.
Not true.
Because it seems like he gave him the fancy suit, and if he makes the web cartridges for him, like what is Peter Parker as Spider-Man before he met Tony Stark?
Well,
that's my fear.
He had the web cartridges before he met Tony Stark.
They just got a little better, maybe.
Yeah, because remember, he's been doing the Spider-Man thing on his own.
Yeah.
Before he met Tony Stark.
Right. Yeah.
This is, I'm not the first person to say this.
Yeah.
But how we've discussed Marvel movies have gotten into this where, it's a superhero movie, but we're also going to try a different genre for this particular superhero movie.
Yeah.
This is clearly a John Hughes 80s teenage movie.
Nice. That's good.
Mm-hmm. There are so many homages to John Hughes in this movie. And there's one scene, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, don't tell me. Give me a ranking, though, of all Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Sam Raimi, and then Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then Spider-Man Homecoming. Those 6, give me your favorite to least favorite.
Favorite to least favorite?
Yeah.
Today.
Today.
13 hours removed from seeing Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming's number 1.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2, the Raimi Spider-Man 2, is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Raimi Spider-Man is number 3. Amazing Spider-Man is number 4. I would say Amazing Spider-Man 2 is number 5. And Raimi's Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Respectable list.
Mm-hmm.
I think next week on the show we should break it down and review it.
Oh, we will.
Once we've both seen it.
Maybe we'll do a Patreon show for it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Where you can spoil it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like from the from the opening, like there's a prelude to it, and then you get the Marvel Studios logo.
Mm-hmm.
I had a huge grin on my face just at the Marvel Studios logo coming up.
Yeah.
And when you see it, you'll know why.
I wonder, I mean, it's still so early. We're not even 12 hours since it came out for the most part, but I wonder what kind of money that's going to make and if the money it makes will affect the future relationship between Sony and Marvel. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because Sony makes it sound right now as if this is like maybe not one, but a few and done project.
well, Kevin Feige said 5. That there's
really?
5 movies
Wow.
that involve Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
I didn't know it was that many.
And this is the second, but this is the second.
Yeah.
Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War, whatever Avengers 4 is going to be called.
And he won't be in Venom at all?
No.
That's weird to me.
Yeah. This is Sony trying to branch
That doesn't
out.
make any sense. You
But
can't
there's
have a
still
villain-
time, and I think, look, personally, I think this is going to be the biggest movie of the summer. It just has that kind of feeling to it.
Homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to go see it again. Like, this is going to be one of those repeat viewing movies that's going to make a ton of money the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
This will be the biggest. I think at the end of the year, it's going to be The Last Jedi, Spider-Man Homecoming, possibly in that third Wonder Woman or Guardians. One of those two will be the third biggest grossing movie of the year. I think Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be huge. And that may affect what they want to do with Spider-Man in the MCU and the Sony. But I think also at the same time, now they have this agreement, Marvel Studios is trying to be protective because this is like a continuation of the MCU movie. This isn't like, hey, Spider-Man's kind of on this island out here. Yeah, he was in Civil War, but he's kind of, no. From beginning to end, this is an MCU movie.
Really?
Make no mistake about
Really?
it.
So I was worried it was a Sony movie with Tony Stark thrown in.
No. This continues the story that you've seen, and
Nice.
And they say it's 8 years after the first Avengers movie.
Really?
Which technically it's only 5 years ago, 6 years
it was
ago.
2012 when they came out.
So it seems like they're trying to set this right before the first Infinity War, or whatever that's going to be called, the Infinity War movie.
8 years, huh?
8 years, yeah. It says it takes place 8 years after the events of the Avengers, and like Happy Hogan's in it.
Yeah.
Happy Hogan's in it more than Tony Stark.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Whoa, really?
Yeah. Like, this is the most I've ever seen Happy Hogan in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, he has more screen time in this movie than he's had in any of the other Marvel movies.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, this is clearly an MCU movie, but at the same time, Spider-Man's the star of the movie.
Yeah.
And there's not they walked that perfect balance of how much Tony Stark should be in this movie. It's
Really?
perfect. It's the perfect amount.
Going back, was Happy Hogan ever in any Spider-Man comics at all? I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
It's funny because the Bonesaw character, that actually wrestled Spider-Man or Peter Parker, in the comic he was Crusher Hogan. So I wonder if they'll make that tie-in.
Oh, I don't know.
Crusher Hogan, Happy Hogan combo. It's possible.
But it was nice to see him in this.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him back in kind of in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
There's some other returns that you might enjoy in this
Really?
movie.
Okay. I'm curious.
Michael Keaton's really good.
Oh, he is? That's good.
Yeah. And his motivation is pretty solid
We speak
motivation.
of many times the Marvel villains are kind of a weak spot to the movies.
He's not.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. I would say he's not. He's one of the stronger ones that I've
That's
seen.
good. Because from what I've seen so far, the Vulture costume's kind of meh. From what I've seen.
Right.
I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to the classic, comic and cartoon Vulture, the old man. The
Right.
old, what's his name from Seinfeld? Larry David.
Larry David, yeah.
The perfect Vulture in my
Larry
eyes.
David Vulture.
Yeah.
I think when he puts the helmet on, they try to go for that. Because it would have been dumb if
Oh,
he
yeah, for sure. If Larry David
shaved
was a
it.
Vulture.
or if they shaved Michael Keaton's head
yeah.
to do this.
Uh-huh.
What else can I tell you without spoiling it?
Do you think,
that?
not from what is based in the movie, but your personal ideas and thoughts, do you think we'll have, how many is he signed to do with Spider-Man?
There's the 5.
This is, okay.
So Civil War,
Okay, yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming,
Right.
Avengers 3, Avengers 4, and then Kevin Feige said last week that's the sequel to this movie.
That's my question, yeah.
The next Spider-Man movie is the official launch to Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my next question.
So it feels like
So-
it will be way more than that. But as it stands right now, you got 5 movies that this Spider-Man will be.
I just wish I knew more of the numbers. Like, how long does Sony have the rights to Spider-Man forever? If not, how much longer do they have it? This deal here with this movie, like as far as profits go, Is it 50-50, 25-75? I'm curious of numbers. I don't see those numbers.
I don't know how they're splitting it up.
I'd like to see that.
But I do know that Sony will ruin this relationship.
You think so?
Yeah, because they'll think that it's them that's making this successful.
Mm-hmm.
The smartest thing that Amy Pascal, who is just a horrible film person, I don't know how she's in charge of Sony.
Yeah.
If you saw those emails that were leaked, she's just got the dumbest ideas. What if we did Men in Black and 21 Jump Street? So Sony will ruin this relationship because then you already see it. Oh, we're gonna do a Venom movie without that Marvel Spider-Man because people want Venom.
As big
and
as
you know who the villain is? Like Venom's the hero in that movie.
Oh, really?
Carnage is the villain.
Really?
It's a Venom Carnage movie with Tom Hardy as Venom and a yet uncast Carnage, unless it's happened in the last couple of days.
It's so weird because all those ingredients should be awesome. A Venom movie with Carnage and Tom Hardy should be awesome.
But Spider-Man's not in it.
My heart's telling me it's not.
Yeah. And my only complaint about this Spider-Man movie is I don't think Donald Glover was in it enough.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's really good.
Because they try to get him to be Spider-Man for so long.
Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And maybe it's still there because names don't mean anything.
Right,
Ever since we met
Robin,
yeah.
John Blake was his name.
Yeah, John Blake. Ever since we met John Blake,
yeah.
we know that names don't mean anything in these movies because you
Right.
can get a twist
Yeah.
and it can actually turn out to be somebody you had no idea it was the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
The supporting cast is really good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Of course, Aunt May is Marissa Tomei.
Oh, yeah.
And even like Ned Leeds and Flash Thompson.
Oh, he's in there?
Yeah.
Really?
And he's probably the best Flash Thompson ever in these movies because
Really?
it's the Flash Thompson you want to see.
Yeah.
Like the high school douchebag
Yeah,
Flash Thompson, and
yeah.
that's who he is in this movie.
Huh.
What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, the supporting cast is really good. Just go see it.
Okay.
I can't say anything else without spoiling it.
I'm going to.
But it could be my favorite movie I've seen so far this summer.
But really?
Yeah, give me
More than Guardians. Yeah. But as of right now, you like it more than Guardians.
Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
That's awesome. It's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Really?
I liked it more than Guardians too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen Baby Driver yet either.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that. Edgar Wright's new movie. So we're going to talk about creepy video game urban legends coming up. Creepy and or strange.
Right.
But before we do that, we started this a couple of weeks ago. And it is the most morbid game in podcasting. We like to call it Dead or Alive. If you've never played Dead or Alive with us, it's pretty easy. We have a list of celebrities. One of us reads it to the other, and the other has to guess if that celebrity is dead or alive.
We have a list of 6 this week,
Okay.
And I think these will be. I think you'll hit all 6 of these. I'm pretty sure.
You think I can get all 6?
I think so. I'm kind of gauging your Dead or Alive capabilities because you haven't played this yet.
No, I haven't
You've
been
only
the
hosted
player.
to me,
I've only
so
hosted. Yeah.
I'm trying to get the gauge of your Dead or Alive knowledge. And some of these I didn't know personally. I had to look it up myself. Like, wait, are they? And I had to check it out. Let's go with our first contestant on Dead or Alive, known from Happy Days and from Karate Kid, Mr. Pat Morita. Dead or alive?
Pat Morita. Morito? That's not right.
That's a chip, almost.
Pat Morita is alive.
Pat Morita died in 2005.
Wow.
11 years ago, Pat Morita died.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's the next for that one.
Well.
How about famed evangelist, Mr. Billy Graham? Dead or alive?
Billy Graham is dead.
Billy Graham is alive at 98 years old.
Wow.
I didn't expect you to. I thought we're in the South, man.
I know.
We're in the belt of Bibles. I thought
Maybe Jimmy Swaggart's dead.
Let's see.
I have sinned.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, and of course, Murder, She Wrote, Mrs. Angela Lansbury.
Is alive.
She's alive at 91 years old.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Because she should have been the voice of Mrs. Potts
Oh, yeah.
in that new Beauty and the Beast.
That's true.
Beauty and the Beast.
How about...
You've seen that one, right?
Lord of the G-Strings. Mr. Punky, George Gaines.
George Gaines is dead.
He is dead. He died in 2016.
Yep.
We have 2 more.
And from Police Academy.
That's true.
Commandant Lassard.
So far, you've gotten 1 or 2 correct, 2 wrong. So let's see if you can bust over the average here. How about Dana Plato, Miss Kimberly Drummond from Different Strokes?
She's dead.
She is dead.
Yeah.
Sadly, a suicide in 1999. She is dead. So let's see. You have 3 right, 2 wrong. Let's go for the final one here.
Okay.
Let's Make a Deal game show host Monty Hall.
Monty Hall is dead.
He is 95 years old and still kicking.
Ah! I'm cheering for Monty Hall to be dead so I could be right. So what, I was 3 and 3?
Half an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
You got Pat Morita, Billy Graham, and Monty Hall incorrect. You got Angela Lansbury, George Gaines, and Dana Plato correct.
So I got a 50.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's a fun game, though, right?
It's an F. Well, I don't know. Is that how they grade these days? It could be.
Yeah, it
could be a D.
You get at least a participation badge, trophy.
It's
something.
a millennial D.
You get a ribbon. There you go.
A real F. And that's how we play Dead or Alive.
It's a fun game. I would have thought Monty Hall was dead, too.
Yeah, I thought he was.
I'm like, let me check Monty Hall. Holy crap, he's still kicking.
Wow.
He's 95 and alive.
What was the first one I got wrong?
Pat Morita.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Al's dead too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Pat's been gone since 05. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Lights on, lights off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, coming up, we're going to talk about video games, but like creepy, weird urban legends.
Yeah, some true, some not so much. We'll see.
Next.
You gotta ask yourself one question, punk.
What the hell is a cigar nerd?
Welcome to the Cigar Nerds Podcast.
It's the only show where two guys smoke cigars and talk about nerd culture.
Do you like movies, games, comics, sci-fi, pulp culture, and beer?
Do you like science, nerd news, explosions for no apparent reason?
Then this is the show for you.
It's like being in a nerdy cigar shop, but for your ears.
Check us out at cigarnerdpodcast.com.
Previously on Podcasserole, Adam admitted to fighting with his friends in the dark when he was a kid to this.
I really did. I hear this song today and I still want to fight someone in the dark.
Tess, your fight. So, creepy, strange, sad, weird, sometimes true, sometimes untrue video game urban legends.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
All different kinds. And I thought since we're playing the Mortal Kombat theme and I'm in that fighting mood, what better way than start off with some Mortal Kombat 1 legends, urban legends. So when I was a kid, I used to play the game, and the early game had very few actual playable characters, and so we're always as small kids and people looking out for more playable characters to find. And the urban legend when I was a kid was that of course you had the classic ninjas, Sub-Zero and Blue, and then you had Scorpion, but there was an old legend that you could play as Reptile, the secret green ninja. And I always thought this to be false until recently I found out that was actually a true story. It wasn't an urban legend. Reptile, the green ninja, is playable in the first Mortal Kombat. Here's what you have to do, though.
Okay.
You must play the pit level. These are all things you have to do in order to play as Reptile or play against him. Play the pit level. You have to, in this pit level, there's a moon, the top left of the of the stage. You have to make sure there are silhouettes crossing across the moon, and this only happens one of every 6 games you play the pit. So it has to be in that scenario of the moon up there, silhouettes, almost like floating witches going across the moon. You must then get a double flawless victory, taking no damage whatsoever without even blocking, and then finish off the game with a fatality. So you have to do all these things.
Wow.
Once you do that, you then you gain 10 million points, which I kind of forgotten that Mortal Kombat has a point system to it, but it did. You're then thrown into a fight at the bottom of the actual pit with the secret green ninja known as Reptile. You have to do all those things.
So it's basically impossible.
Pretty much, yeah. But this was found just a few years ago. The game comes out in the early 90s, and it was held a secret until recently. How crazy is that?
It is crazy. So, but a few people were able to do it.
Yeah, I've seen the playthrough happen on YouTube. It has happened. So some would say it's an urban legend that you can play as the secret green ninja in Mortal Kombat, but that is a true story. Really,
right?
It does exist. It's there. It's crazy.
I went a little darker with mine.
I have darker ones too. Well, kind of. I started off with a fun Mortal Kombat story.
Well, I'm going to start with an Xbox 360 murder.
Oh, that happens too.
In April of 2013, a Broward County, Florida man allegedly used an Xbox 360 console as a bludgeon to end his girlfriend's life.
Jeez.
The reason? Because she had control of his spirit, is what he said.
Like game spirit or real spirit?
Like real spirit.
Oh, wow.
Police initially came into contact with Darius Johnson on Sunday as he walked injured along the 2800 block of Northwest 55th Avenue. This is back in April of 2013. It was determined that he'd received minor stab wounds during an alleged burglary. Officials said it was while Johnson received medical treatment that he described what happened to his girlfriend. Johnson mentioned that he had fought with her. When asked by an officer where she was, he replied, "She's in heaven, and I think I killed her."
Wow.
According to a police affidavit. When officers went to check on her, they said they found the home's front door was partially open and a blood trail led to a back bedroom where her body was on the floor. The discovery happened about 5 p.m. that Sunday, the police lieutenant said. She died and had defensive wounds on her hands. She'd been stabbed multiple times in the back, the neck, and stomach approximately 6 a.m. that morning. And a broken and bloody Xbox 360 gaming system was found near her body, along with 3 knives.
The literal red ring of death, literally.
Literally, quite literally. Johnson told police the victim had control over his spirit and that the couple had fought over his wanting to relieve. What does it say? Wanting a relative to live with them. That's what they'd fought over. They'd fought over him wanting a relative to live with them. He also said that she would not die and that he had fought her like a dragon, according to the police report. Police said that Johnson also told them that he sacrificed the victim for his betterment and that he had to sacrifice somebody with a Taurus astrological sign. He had considered his grandfather a worthy target, but discounted him because the elderly man had medical issues.
It's like Highlander.
Turns out, girlfriend's November birthday did not fall within the Taurus zodiac phase. So he actually killed her with his Xbox.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow. Mine's going to be just as dark, I would say, unless you want to go more in depth with that. That's crazy.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. And what year was that? I mean, the 360 days? So.
That was April of 2013.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's mad. He's still playing with the 360.
He could have had an Xbox One.
Yeah, well, I guess that was later on. But mine will be just as dark, but a little less in length because it's just kind of a fact that happened. But some people believe it, some don't. But reports actually do show, you can look up articles online of newspapers at the time, that multiple people have died while playing the 1980 arcade game Berserk. It's a scary game. Listen to those voices. So I've read stories about this game, and at the time, this was very, very unusual to have actual voice work in a game like this.
Yeah.
For each word spoken in this game, it cost them $1,000 per word in 1980 to make that voice simulation. $1,000 per word. Think about it. And it's been said that Berserk had killed 3 people at Friar Tuck's Game Room Arcade in Calumet City, Illinois. So just that one arcade alone, in the year of 1980, there are 3 confirmed deaths because of people playing the game, and apparently drives them crazy, makes them a little more aggressive. Sometimes people got into a fight over the game itself because they were trying to take quarters and steal quarters and whose turn it was next, and brawls happened. But overall, just in that one arcade alone, from the game Berserk in 1980, 3 people have died.
So a couple of people... Mm-hmm. I mean, it happened right after they hit like the high score.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then they'd hit the high score and then apparently back out and die from a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Alan,
18, 19-year-olds. These weren't like
these are pretty healthy kids.
Yeah.
Alan McNeil, an employee of Universal Research Laboratories, a division of Stern Electronics, had a dream one night involving a black and white video game in which he had to fight robots. That's where he got the idea for this.
Wow.
The dream was heavy, borrowing from the basic game Robots, which was a U.S. game. Mm-hmm. In the U.K., the game Robots, guess what it was called?
What's that?
Daleks.
Ah, that's funny.
It was the basis for Berserk, which was named for the series of science fiction the Berserker series of science fiction novels. Evil Otto was named after Dave Otto, security chief at McNeil's former employer, Dave Nutting Associates. According to McNeil, Otto, which is the character in the game, the humanoid character in the game, Evil Otto, would, quote, smile while he chewed you out. He would also lock McNeil and his fellow employees out of the building to enforce a noon-hour lunch, as well as piping beautiful music into every room.
Wow.
So this head of security guy that McNeil used to work for, he based the Evil Otto character.
Weird.
So, is Evil Otto's spirit actually inside the humanoid game?
And if you look at that Evil Otto actual image, it's basically a creepy floating smiley face for the most part.
Yeah.
What's odd about the Calumet City, Illinois, where those 3 confirmed deaths happened in the arcade, that city's actual water towers, they have 2 water towers, and if you look at the Calumet City, Illinois water towers, They're all big yellow smiley faces, just like Evil Otto.
Oh, wow.
Crazy, huh?
That's weird.
A little coincidental.
Let's listen to the Berserk voices again, because those are they're kind of creepy.
Attacks on intruder. Intruder alert, intruder. The humanoid must not escape. Get the intruder.
Wow, you wouldn't think much of it, but people have died.
This was like the third game to feature a voice?
Yeah, it's pretty early on, yeah.
Wow. Classic video game sound.
Yeah. But thousands per word. Up to around $1,000 per word. In 1980 money. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah, think about that.
Not playing around with that.
No.
What about the GTA murders, Adam?
Oh, yeah?
Devin Moore.
Talk to me about those.
In May, he was born in May of 1985 in Alabama. He sparked a large controversy over the video game Grand Theft Auto Vice City when he committed 3 acts of first-degree murder against people in Fayette, Alabama, police said in June of 2003. Moore killed 2 policemen and a 911 dispatcher. So basically what happened was he was arrested, and while they were processing him, he escaped through, he grabbed a police officer's gun, shot 3 people in the building, escaped the police headquarters, and then jumped in a cop car and tried to escape in a cop car and had a shootout with the cops in the cop car with them chasing him.
Wow. Huh.
When he was caught, he said, "Life is a video game. Everybody's got to die sometime."
Jeez. Wasted.
And
busted.
Yeah. Wasted and busted.
Yeah.
And apparently, now see, this is one of those stories where people gather that the video games can cause this. Because apparently, this guy would sit and play Grand Theft Auto Vice City for 12, 13 hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And then 60 Minutes did a story on this in 2005, which opened that whole can of Grand Theft Auto worms. Moore faced trial in 2005. In August 2005, he was convicted and charged. In October of 2005, he was sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Wow.
In Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Why do you think
real-life GTA.
Grand Theft Auto so often gets blamed for that? Because it sells the most?
I mean, it's pretty violent.
I know, but almost every game you play. And
it's violence against everybody. Civilians, bad guys, good guys, police officers, children.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, there's not a lot of children in Grand Theft Auto anymore, is there?
I don't think any kids at all.
No.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Man, GTA 5 is so good.
Yeah,
have I said that in the past few weeks?
Yeah, it's really good, though. It's a really good game.
It's insane. Like, if you go online and look at videos of what happens today, it's a different game. I'm telling you, man, it's a different game.
I just saw they had something going last week online.
It's a different game.
I came very close last week to buying for the PS4 just to play it again.
Yeah.
On PS4.
Yeah, I'm thinking, right now it's on sale half off for $30, the Xbox One. I'm thinking about it. Because there's all kinds of, there's more stuff, not only that's been added, but that was there and the coding since day one, people are still discovering. That's insane to me.
That's pretty cool.
It's insane. My last one here is going to be a Last Legend. Not so macabre and creepy and scary, no real deaths, but at the same time, it's still a curse. And that's a little thing we call the Madden curse.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so hang with me here. We're going to have some sports talk for about 3 minutes.
But
hang with me. So the Madden curse, for those that don't know, is apparently, and not really an urban legend because this is proven to more often than not be what actually happens. So it's a real curse. The way the Madden football franchise works, the year previous, maybe one of the top stars in the NFL, a top football player, is chosen either by the executives at EA or for a few years to be chosen by the fans to be the cover athlete of the following year's Madden football game. And as it goes, usually, if you're the Madden cover athlete, odds are an actual curse happens to you. Either you have a terrible season, or you have a season or maybe a career-ending injury, and that's known as the Madden curse. And like I said, more often than not, that does happen. So let's go through some of just a few of the Madden curses. Like in Madden 08, we had Vince Young for the Tennessee Titans on there. Mm-hmm. The year previous, a great rookie, up-and-comer, going to the playoffs, big career.
He was the second coming of Steve McNair in Nashville.
As we know, that never happened. So he has the Madden 08 cover, and that year he has only 2,500 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions were his stats that year.
He wasn't here very long.
Not long at all. Like I said, some football stuff, so hang with me. I have a few more.
He was here less than Pac-Man Jones.
That's true. That's true. Madden 2002, we had Dante Culpepper on the cover. He had a terrible season that following year until his season-ending knee injury in the middle of the season. Madden 12. Here's one I forgot about. Peyton Hillis is on the front. You remember that guy? Exactly. For the Browns.
Yes.
This is the first year ever fans had the chance to vote for the cover athlete, which we see now was a mistake. He had multiple hamstring injuries, only played 10 games in full, 587 yards, 3 touchdowns, which, as you know, for a starting NFL quarterback are not good stats whatsoever for running back. Madden 07, Sean Alexander. He broke his foot with a season-ending injury in Week 3. Madden 06, Donovan McNabb, season-ending groin injury in Week 9. Madden 17, just last year, Rob Gronkowski was on the cover. Of course, he only played 8 games and had a season-ending back injury that required massive surgery. Missed the Super Bowl because of it. Last but not least, in Madden 04, maybe the biggest and widest known cover athlete in Madden history was Michael Vick. Soon after the game comes out, fractured his right fibula during a preseason game, ending the season, and then shortly after that, the dogs happened.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't deny, out of the few years we've had cover athletes, the majority of those are cursed afterwards. We can't deny that.
But it's very rare for a player to go through an entire season and not have some sort of injury. Now, granted, some of these are pretty extreme and season ending.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most NFL players get hurt at some point.
But these guys aren't just out with like a...
That's true.
These are
That's a
like
good point.
season, sometimes career-ending downward spirals. I'm just saying.
And they're high-profile players.
Yeah.
And that's the reason they make the cover.
Yeah.
And so, they're quarterbacks.
Yeah,
a lot of them are quarterbacks. And so,
It's at the point
they're
now-
going to go after them on the field.
It's at the point where people get chosen to be a Madden cover athlete, and the fans will have a petition to not have them as the cover athlete.
No.
I mean, this year Tom Brady's on the cover, and people are petitioning not to have him on there.
I would sign the petition for him. He's never been on the cover before.
Nope, it's his first time.
Really?
For the first time ever, one team has back-to-back cover athletes. Last year, Gronk was on there. Now we have Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So 2 Patriots back-to-back.
Yeah.
First time ever.
Yep, America's team.
The Titans have had 2, though. We had Vince Young and Eddie George, which, of course, Eddie George was there 2001, and remember what happened to Eddie George afterwards? Yeah, I don't either.
Will Eddie George be in the Hall of Fame?
I think so.
Do you think he has the yards?
Maybe.
He's got the years.
Yeah.
But does he have the yards to get him in the Hall of Fame?
I'd say he's up. No, maybe not. Not a first year.
No.
Even like a third or fourther.
Maybe. If there's nobody else.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, so he'll be there eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I've got a couple left. Let's do this one. And you can jump in on this one.
Okay.
Because a couple of these we've actually talked about before.
Right.
The Pokemon Red and Green
Oh, yeah.
has music that makes Japanese children go nuts and jump off buildings.
Is this the Lavender Valley Syndrome we call it?
Yes, dubbed Lavender Town Syndrome.
Yeah.
This claims that in 1996, a bunch of children in Japan offed themselves after playing Pokemon Red and Green because the music in the purple town drove them insane.
Have you heard this before?
I've actually got it.
Oh,
I'm going to play it here in a second. This is from the Wikipedia about this. According to a creepypasta story that was uploaded in 2010, the music of Lavender Town compelled the suicide of over 100 Japanese children in the spring of 1996. Others allegedly suffered nosebleeds, headaches, or became irrationally angry. According to the urban legend, high-pitched binaural beats messed with the brains of the children in the way adults are immune to it. The illness was dubbed Lavender Town Syndrome, and the original story went viral after being spread on general interest websites such as 4chan. Various people have added details to make the story more convincing over time, such as photoshopping images of ghosts into Lavender Town and other stuff like that. So,
Creepy.
I actually have the Lavender Town music if you'd like to hear it.
It's weird because I've heard the difference in the North American and the Japanese, and I don't really hear a difference, though.
Yeah, this is like the original. This is now. Bear in mind, this music you're about to hear
could drive you crazy and suicidal.
And yeah, you could go insane just by listening to this.
Yeah, just a heads up.
I've listened to it once today.
How do you feel? High spirits? You feeling good?
I seem to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I did just see Spider-Man last night.
Could be the end.
That's a pretty high to try to come down from. Pretty big high. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let me play this one because I've got 2 versions of it. Here's the Lavender Town from Pokemon Red and Green. It's pretty generic.
Yeah. I think it's... There it is.
I think the high pitch part is coming up here. Tell me if you hear it. There it is. In the very back.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I think just generally it's what drives you insane.
You know, the Pokemon players go, they play this for hours straight. Imagine that song on loop.
I know. So that's the Lavender Town
Yeah.
music that apparently drove some children insane in 1996.
Pretty crazy.
You know what's even creepier than that? Because that's pretty creepy music.
It really is, yeah.
You know what's creepier?
What's that?
Is to listen to that same music backwards.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, that's enough of that.
It's like dubstep Pokemon.
Ugh.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
so the Lavender Town,
Yeah.
Pokemon, red and green, right?
Yeah.
That was the game?
Red and blue. Red and blue? Was it red and blue?
Well, it says red and green
Oh,
here.
maybe red. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, but they could be wrong.
Red and blue. Yeah. Red and blue. It was red and green. Yeah.
I also
I'm
have...
colorblind. I don't know.
That's okay. Okay, it's all the same to you. You want to do Polybius?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about that. I like that one.
Okay. In a suburban arcade near Portland, Oregon in 1981, a dull digital glow bounced off the faces of teenagers.
This is my favorite gaming urban legend, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just a
good.
disclaimer. Yeah.
Teenagers who clutched joysticks immersed in the game. Tiny lines and dots danced or exploded, and high-pitched beeps across them all. But one cabinet, Polybius, drew the longest lines. Gamers who couldn't stop playing and began acting oddly. They were nauseous, stressed, had horrific nightmares. Others had seizures or attempted suicide. Many felt unable to control their own thoughts. It was only later that they recalled how Polybius was serviced more often than other video games. Men in black suits opened the machine every week, recorded its data, and left with no interest in the coins. Soon after it appeared, the mysterious arcade game vanished without warning, taken by the men in black suits, leaving no record of its existence. That's the story, at least. The legend of one of the biggest unsolved mysteries of the gaming world. Though most concede the game never existed, it's since become an urban legend on gaming and conspiracy websites and internet horror wikia. Creepypastas and the like, with good stories, has kept it alive for years. While details about the game are at best ambiguous, its story has its roots in truth. Just a few decades before Polybius supposedly terrorized Oregon gamers, the government really was secretly testing unwilling suspects. It was the MK Ultra project, an unethical government-led experimental program of the 1950s involving LSD. It was uncovered in 1965 by the Church Committee of the U.S. Congress, an investigation by the CIA, whose predecessor controlled the program. Many of MK Ultra's subjects did not know they were part of this, and all designed to explore brainwashing and confusion techniques. Despite an attempted cover-up, a cache of 20,000 documents was revealed in 1977, and more information was declassified in 2001, showing that over 185 researchers and 80 institutions participated in the MK Ultra experiments. Reports of injuries from video games actually have happened, though from entirely different reasons, and real reasons, in arcades across the country. A newspaper from the Portland area at the time reports that a 12-year-old boy named Brian Moreau got sick after drinking Coca-Cola and playing Asteroids for 28 hours. So real life, weird coincidence with video games like playing Asteroids for 28 hours and throwing up Coca-Cola.
Right.
And the fact that the MK Ultra project actually did exist have led many to believe that Polybius was in fact a video game made by the government.
This could be a
Believe it or not.
This could be a thing, right? I love that story so much.
Yeah.
And it's something as crazy as MK Ultra does exist, as we know it has. It's not out of the realm of possibility for that to be a real thing.
It's possible. I mean, it was the plot of was it Starfighter?
Oh,
Was that the game?
I think so.
Was that the name? Oh, not the game, the movie.
Yeah.
Where the kid was so good at the video game, the government recruited him to fly spaceships.
Was that the Mark Hamill movie?
I don't know.
Mark Hamill
no,
game?
Starfighter was the game.
The Last Star. What am I thinking?
The Last Starfighter?
What is that?
Maybe that was the movie. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the kid was so good, he actually was recruited to fly spaceships.
Right. Yeah.
So, but you were the first one to tell me about Polybius.
Right. Yeah.
So part of it was they were testing the dexterity of the players too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And these guys came in once they passed these tests and these exams. These guys came in apparently with briefcases and black suit and tie, and they would take these people away. Sometimes the people would never be seen again, or come back and have no recollection of what happened. Very much Men in Black style.
And the that adds to the allure of this conspiracy is that Polybius wasn't showing up at the typical arcades. They were kind of backwater, small arcades in the Oregon area.
Right, yeah.
And this is kind of taking on its own life in pop culture.
I just think it's a little too deep to just to make up a story out of that for no reason. It seems like it's too much based in fact for something like that to be. Maybe the name wasn't Polybius. Maybe people weren't being shuffled away by guys in suits. But it's not outrageous to think that someone could be tested by the government by a video game. It's not out there at all.
There was an episode of The Simpsons not too long ago where Bart's in an arcade playing, I forget what game he's playing, and then the game right beside him is Polybius.
Really?
And then there's a panel on it that says property of the U.S. government.
That's pretty funny. Wow.
And there was a barcade in Seattle, like a couple of years ago on April Fool's weekend? They actually mocked up a version of Polybius and brought it in a cabinet.
I wonder how many people actually got that joke.
Yeah. And there was another, what was I reading? There's actually Craigslist and eBay auctions with Polybius cabinets, and they came from a film studio who had them created as background props for a movie they were filming, and I guess the movie never got made.
Really?
So the studio's trying to unload these cabinets they had made, which can't be cheap.
Like Shooting Clerks?
Maybe.
A movie like that?
It could be. And so they're trying to unload these Polybius cabinets on Craigslist and eBay.
Wow. That's kind of cool. I'd like to have one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd put it, what I would do with it, but yeah.
So you are in the camp that Polybius actually existed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, it may not be the name, it may not be exactly how that went down, but something like that happened, I believe. What do you think?
This may come as a shock to you.
Yeah.
I don't believe it existed.
You are the skeptic of the group. It's good.
Yeah, I'm the not.
I'm the all-believer. You tell me a story? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. What did you decide that's called?
An apologist? No.
No. Sometimes you are an apologist.
It's true. What was that called? I'll look it up again because I'm curious of the name. I believe that I am. The exact opposite of a skeptic.
The last one that I'm going to do, we've actually talked about before. That's Luigi is Dead. You've heard this, right?
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion for GameCube features a scene where Luigi answers a phone and lightning strikes, illuminating his figure against the far wall. Thing is, the shadow appears to be Luigi hanging from the ceiling.
That is creepy.
Could that mean Luigi is actually dead and a ghost himself? Could be a glitch, but certain players believe that it's a remnant from a much darker version of the game that was scrapped earlier. This isn't the first game players believe has Mario's brothers dying in it. In fact, since this is the last Mario-style game chronologically, some say Luigi is just a ghost in this haunted mansion, and some have even captured screenshots of the game to support this idea, because in the close-ups, it looks like Luigi has the face of a corpse. He's very pale, dark circles under his eyes.
That's terrifying.
Also, the original version, as mentioned earlier, was going to have a 24-hour limit on it. And if you didn't finish the game in the 24-hour limit, Mario, because that's the plot of it, you're trying to rescue Mario from this mansion. Mario's trapped in the mansion. Luigi's trying to rescue Mario. And it was going to have a 24-hour time limit on it. And if you didn't rescue Mario in 24 hours, he would be, quote, lost forever. Mm-hmm. And the scene that was going to be used if you didn't make it in the 24 hours basically looks like a graveside Luigi weeping for Mario.
Wow.
So this is a pretty dark game.
It is dark.
A very dark game, considering how upbeat the music for Luigi's Mansion actually is. I don't know, it's kind of dark.
Yeah. It was more that fun, like Haunted Mansion Disney kind of scary fun with ghosts and all that. Yeah.
Is this room actually stretching?
So I can't find the word I'm looking for the antonym of a skeptic.
True believer.
But I see other ones I don't appreciate. They're calling people like me chump, dupe, a gull,
a rube,
a pigeon, a sucker,
a dullard.
Yeah.
Look at this rube.
But I go
Hurry,
in,
hurry, hurry.
I'm just a positive thinker.
You have an open mind.
There we go.
I have an open mind,
Yeah.
but it's also very skeptical at the same time.
Yeah, gotcha. But there's something about like just old. I think Nintendo is the Disney for me. The way I feel is the Disney of just old video games. They have that kind of charm where it's for children, and any kind of just stray away from that childish line is just creepy and terrifying to me. Does that make sense? When you find something that shouldn't be in a Disney movie, that just has a creep factor to it, and I think Nintendo is the same way.
Yes, and there's stuff that we've talked about before. We've done a similar subject that we didn't talk about today, which is some very creepy stuff that has to do with Final Fantasy.
Right? Yeah.
One of the characters that's supposed to be dead, but maybe she's not
Yeah.
dead.
Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. There's the whole what was it, Earthbound?
Right. Yeah. The fetus. The that's crazy.
Which is just weird.
Yeah.
And one of them I saw when I was looking this up was that GTA 4 had a Yeti in it.
Yeah, that was and people even went on and had mods and photoshopped. Yeah, and I think in 5 they actually had.
So in 5 they actually put the Yeti in there.
Is that what it was? They actually put one in there. Did we ever? I don't know if I ever found him in 5. How do you find him in 5?
He's up in the mountains.
I've seen it. I've seen the gameplay of it, but I've never done it myself.
And then there was one where one game was supposed to. It's outdated. And the first time we did it, this is how long we've been doing this.
Yeah.
The first time we did something like this, it predicted Queen Elizabeth's death in 2014.
Oh, that was in Fallout. Was it Fallout 3?
Fallout 3. That's
You
it.
have to kill 3 dog, and then do a certain thing, and the actual radio signal starts naming out, like having future telling stories. Yeah.
And so the Queen of England was to die in 2014.
Yeah.
The first time we did this, that hadn't happened yet. And we're like, well, I guess we'll see. It did.
That's fun. Yeah.
She's
3
still
dog.
kicking. Dead or alive. She's still
going.
still
Did you
alive.
kill 3 dog in Fallout 3? Why would that be an option? Was that? I mean, could you just do it to do it?
There was a mission, though.
What was
I forget
wrong
what
with
the
3
mission
dog?
was.
He was nice to me.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean you. Yeah, I played Fallout 3 much differently than I played Fallout 4.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was apparently going through a very dark time.
You did.
Well, I was enslaving people and killing them for their suits.
What's your Timpani suit?
It's a nice suit, Timpani.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. You know what? When we got asked what one of our favorite episodes was,
Yeah, you didn't talk about the.
I think one of my favorite episodes
Tower?
could be us talking about Fallout 3 and Tenpenny Tower.
For the first time. I mean, you're a few years behind.
Yeah.
But that was still years
That's like
before.
4 years behind.
That was still years before Fallout 4 came out. So it was still kind of relevant.
And I was talking about killing Mr. Tenpenny.
Yeah.
It's a nice suit, Tenpenny.
That's funny.
So yeah, there's some creepy, strange yet true, sometimes true video game urban legends.
There are tons out there. Tons.
If you'd like to connect with us, tell us your favorite video game urban legend.
I'm sure there are tons we missed as well.
You can tweet us at AdamandJP.
Of course, Facebook.com/AdamandJP as well. Facebook's a good way to reach out to us. A lot of messages, private messages on the old Facebook.
Are there?
Yeah.
Like some we need to read?
No.
Oh, okay. Because Adam will see them.
Yeah.
I won't. But if you email, I will see them.
That's true, yeah. We have our different routes. And Twitter's pretty good for us as well.
Right.
I see those quite
You
often.
can email us, ajp@adamandjp.com. And make sure to go on to Apple Podcast and give us a 5-star review.
Please do.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
5 stars
Yeah.
and give us a review. Oh, and you can go to patreon.com/podcastroll.
Yeah.
While we were gone, we released a bonus
Right.
episode that was some of our Patreon stuff.
Right.
Previously unreleased.
Yeah.
To the general public.
So we do have Patreon-only podcasts on there, much like the Spider-Man Homecoming. Maybe done next week just for that.
Yeah. I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
Eat your podcast roll.
Finally, it wasn't me. You pod Peppa-Po. This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek, classic, current, and beyond. Be part of the crew at ESONetwork.com.